This is a press conference by the Ijaws of Warri South local government area on the final report of the Supreme Court order Delineation of Warri Federal Constituency of Delta State, released on the 20th day of May 2026 by INEC. Recall that this is a press briefing by the Ijaws of Warri South local government area on the final report of the Supreme Court order Delineation of Warri Federal Constituency on Delta State in SC/413/2016, Honorable Judge U. Timinimi and others versus INEC. 2. We decided to call this press briefing to state a specific position on the final report of the delineation exercise released by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Warri South local government area, and also to correct wrong impressions being created in some quarters by some of our neighbors and highly placed individuals in government, such as Senator Remi Tinubu, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Senator Desi Danjuma. 3. We, the Jopo of Warri South, welcome the final report of the fresh delineation exercise, which was released by INEC to stakeholders in Asaba, Delta State, on Wednesday, the 20th day of May 2026. The INEC's final report, to a very large extent, reflects the reality on ground, and we commend the Commission for doing a very thorough job. We also accept the delineation of the Ijaw electoral wards through registration area into Warri South Constituency 2 of the Delta State House of Assembly. That decision reflects the wishes and aspirations of the Ijaw people of Warri South local government area. However, we also wish to use this press briefing to correct some misconceptions being created by some of our neighboring ethnic groups in Warri South local government area, especially the Shekiri ethnic group. 5. Misconceptions about the polling units and electoral wards/registration areas created for the Ijaws of Warri South LGA in the fresh delineation exercise by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. That is, whether the Ijaw people are located in and part of Warri South local government area is the question that is being asked. 6. Since the release of the final report, some of our neighbors, especially the Shekiri ethnic nationality, have been promoting a misleading narrative that the Ijaws Ogbujo people are not part of Warri South LGA. In the first place, and with specific reference to the Supreme Court order delineation, the issue of whether the Ijaw Ogbujo people are part of Warri South local government area or not was raised at the stakeholders meeting held on the 21st day of March 2024 at Asaba by the Shekiris, reflected in the minutes of the said meeting, and it was dealt with in the meeting of INEC national leadership with the focal persons of Ijaw, Ishekiri, and Urobos at Government House Annex, Warri, Delta State, on the 8th day of July 2024, prior to the assignment of field workers to the respective settlements within the Warri South local government area. The meeting had in attendance 2 INEC national commissioners, namely Professor Rodas Gomez and Dr. Baba Bila, and it was resolved that from available intelligence reports, physical communities on ground and existing electoral polling units, the Ijaw Ogbujo people are integral part of Warri South local government area. It was on this basis that a team of INEC field officers were assigned to the Ijaw areas in Warri South LG, just as INEC fielded officers were assigned to the Shekiri and Urobo areas. Furthermore, the INEC field officers assigned to the Ijaw areas were the ones who covered the Ijaw areas, constituting the newly created Inwi, Bolama, Ogbujo Warri Urban, and part of GRA ward/registration areas. The INEC field officers assigned to the Shekiri and Urobo area did not and could not have covered these areas because they are indigenous Ijaw communities through settlements, where the Ijaws reside to the knowledge of all persons and authorities. If there is any evidence of Ijaw ownership and existence in Warri South LGA, there cannot be any better evidence than our physical presence here in Ogbujo Warri urban community to address gentlemen of the press. All communities here are all Ijaw communities occupied by Ijaw people. As we speak to you, we are speaking from Ijaws Warri Township, the main town. Ijaws Warri Urban. That's where we are speaking. That's where this press conference is taking place. 10. For historical reasons and for the purpose of guiding the general public, Ijaws, which is an Ijaw settlement, is recorded as the first settlement in the present Warri city in Warri South local government area of Delta State. Indeed, the present Warri Township started from Ijaws. The Warri Township Assessment Report by Mr. Pichori, dated 12 June 1928, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Federal Ministry of Education, National Archives, Chief Secretary's Office, Nigeria, file number 20653, unequivocally state as follows, and I quote, "The township of Warri is marked contrast to the village of Old Warri, is of recent growth. The original settlement, which in due course became the nucleus around which population settled, was known as Ijaws, and the name is still retained to define that portion of the town around the present market." As we speak to you, we are in the Ijaws market environment. As the name indicates, Ijaws was originally an Ijaw settlement and translated literally means, I'm informed, the Ijaw fish market. I've been unable to trace any information, either verbally or documentary, which will assist in any way in dating the foundation of Ijaws. It is wrong to say that there is evidence that the settlement is not more than a century old, and that done to comparatively recent times. The settlement was small and supported a very meager population. The Ijaw fishermen, always more at home in their canoes than on land, fished up and down the stretch of water which now forms the Warri anchorage, and made use of the settlement to sell their catches. In the main, the purchasers came from the old established Sobo hamlet of Agbasa and the more recent Jekiri village of Okere. 11. The foregoing factual facts were also confirmed by Chief Donuma, who was the leader of the Jekiri people, in his letter to the resident of Warri province in 1923. Copies of the Warri Assessment Report of 1928 and the Chief Donuma's letter are all attached as annexures to this press conference. The Ijaw people physically occupied their areas in Warri Township till date. 12. Furthermore, in 1955, when the first local administrative structure was established and electoral delineation done in Warri City, the Ijaw people were included in Warri Urban District Council with a section of Urobos and the Shekiris as defined by the Western Region Laws of Nigeria, number 117 of 1955. In that law, we had 7 district councils, which makes up the 3 Warri local government areas. And Ijaw had a separate district council and also had a district council in Warri Urban. The former Warri Urban District Council is the present Warri South LGA. The said law created 4 autonomous electoral wards for the Ijaw pool of Ijaw, which were Elderstan B3, Ijaw Ward C1, Ijaw Ward C2, and Government Area F1. Copy of the Gazette establishing the Warri Urban District Council is hereby attached as an annexure. 13. The 1963 national census was carried out with this structure, showing the Ijaw population, and this structure with elected Ijaw councillors remained operational till sometimes in 1976, when the Olusegun Obasanjo's military government introduced local government reforms, giving birth to the present local government structure. 14. The introduction of local government administration and the subsequent delineation of electoral wards in the area concerned led to the balkanization of the hitherto homogeneous Ijaws 4 wards in Warri South LG into mere polling units in different wards, mainly as minorities. The electoral wards that the Ijaw settlements were balkanized into before the Supreme Court ordered delineation electoral wards were Pesu, GRA, Bowen, and Okere wards. The Ijaw areas were balkanized into these electoral wards and thereby making them minorities and politically weak. The fact that the Ijaws areas were balkanized into polling units, marginalized and denied of political representation, does not mean that the Ijaws do not exist in Warri South local government area before the Supreme Court ordered delineation. It is obvious that the public should be aware of that. 15. Since the 1976 balkanization of the Ijaws homogeneous for electoral wars, we have always protested and made known to successive electoral bodies of the need to balance the lopsided electoral wards in Warri South local government. This was without much success before a group of patriotic Ijaws men sought legal redress, leading to the celebrated and historic Supreme Court judgment of December 2nd, 2022 in SC/413/2016, Honorable Judge U. Timinimi and others versus INEC. 16. It is this Ijaws areas previously delineated in 1955 as Elderstown B3, Ogbujo C1, Ogbujo C2, and Gulf Area F1 that the INEC field officers assigned to the Ijaws areas visited from the 10th day of July 2024 to 19th day of July 2024 and delineated as Bolama Ward 02, Ewin Ward 07, and Ogbujo Warri Urban Ward 12, and the part of Ogbujo areas in the GRA Ward 08. Hence, the delineation of electoral wards and polling units to cover the Ijaws areas in Warri Urban is not a new development, but has been in existence for decades. The recent exercise only seeks to correct an obvious injustice where the Ijaws in Warri South LG are balkanized and delineated into different polling units and denied representation in Warri South LG administration. It is important to note that, contrary to the false impression being created by the Shekiris, the Ijaws areas have always been separated from the Shekiri areas in Warri Urban. It is for this reason that the Chiefs Laws of 1957, Cap 19, provides that the authority of the Shekiri monarch, the Olu of Warri, excludes Ogbujo areas. The 1979 Bendel State Traditional Rulers and Chiefs Edit BSLN 44 describes the Amakosu of Ogbujo as the prescribed authority of Ogbujo lands and people in Warri metropolis. This meant that all the lands of the Ijaws of Ogbujo are excluded from the claims by the Shekiri people. This is paramount, and it is important for us to emphasize this. We are not under the overlordship of the Olu. We are independent people. Just as they are not subjected to us, we are not subjected to them. 18. Furthermore, the Delta State Traditional Rulers, Chiefs and Council Law, Volume 3, NACAP T3, Laws of Delta State 2006, recognizes 4 clans in Warri metropolis. The Shekiri Kingdom, where the Olu is the prescribed authority. Okerorobo Kingdom, where the Oronswe of Okerorobo is the prescribed authority. Agbasa Kingdom, where the Ovio of Agbara is the prescribed authority. And the Ogbujo Kingdom, where the Amankos of Ogbujo is the prescribed authority of the Ogbujo Kingdom in Warri metropolis. 19. The purpose of the above laws is to the effect that the Ogbujo Kingdom and their lands in Warri metropolis in Warri South local government area are excluded from the claim of the Shekiri people. This position has been confirmed by the Court of Appeal in a recent judgment in appeal number CA/AL/441/2016 in a judgment delivered on the 5th of June 2023. That's the court case. 20. It is also important to state that the Shekiris have no judgment against the Ijaws of Ogbujo, which confer a radical title on them over Ogbujo lands in Warri metropolis or anywhere else. All noise about legal victories over the Ijaws is unfounded and fictitious. We urge INEC and the general public to disregard the falsehood, even though they are not relevant to the recently concluded fresh delineation exercise. 21. A call on First Lady Remi Tinubu and Senator Dezi Danjuma to allow the Ijaws of Warri breathe and stop the oppression. 22. Since the election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Shekiris have made the First Lady Senator Remi Tinubu as the police of Warri, who will not allow the Ijaws of Warri breathe. She is supported in this inglorious adventure by Senator Dezi Danjuma, wife of General T.Y. Danjuma from Taraba State. 23. The First Lady has been at the forefront of the consistent attempt to frustrate the Supreme Court order fresh delineation process and deny the Ijaws in general and the Ijaws of Warri South LGA. The opportunity to have electoral wards registration areas in order to enable us participate in the electoral process. The Ijaws of Warri South LGA are indigenous people and have a right to electoral wards through registration areas. It is an attempt of oppression for the First Lady to be using her position, which is not known by law, to frustrate efforts at allowing the Ijaws population political participation. 24. We call on the First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, to use her position. As I said earlier, it is not provided by law in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to develop Ishekiri communities and not to oppress Ijaw people. When Mariam Babangida was First Lady, she used her office to make Asaba the capital of Delta State, and the people of Asaba are enjoying that benefit of their daughter being the First Lady till date. We expect Remi Tinubu to do that. Though she's not from Warri, we expect that she should use her opportunity as the First Lady to develop the Warri environment. 25. However, in the case of Senator Remi Tinubu, she is using her office as instrument of oppression. The First Lady and Senator Danjuma are doing everything possible to make INEC withdraw the 3 wards that have been created for the Ijaws of Warri South LGA. We wish to warn and appeal at the same time that the oppressive actions of the First Lady and Senator Danjuma against the Ijaws of Warri and Warri South LGA in particular may lead to avoidable crisis and constitute problems for her husband, President Bola Tinubu's government. It will be recalled that the relocation of the headquarters of Warri Southwest LGA from Ogbijo and Ijaw community in 1997 to Gidigbe, a Shekiri that led to the unfortunate Warri crisis of 1997 to 2003. The actions of First Lady and Senator Danjuma may lead to same result if caution is not applied. We are appealing to them, they should take their hands off. They are not part of INEC. They don't have any office in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, so they should not intervene in the affairs of INEC. It's INEC's responsibility to delineate wards and polling units, and INEC have done that. I don't know why they are still fighting the Ijaws of Warri. So they should apply caution to what they are doing. 27. Senator Remi Tinubu, who is an Ishekiri from Ogboloposo community in Uwe local government area, has no business with Warri Township. Ogboloposo is not part of Warri, and therefore she's not from Warri Township. She cannot determine who should get electoral wards in Warri Township. The Ijaw people are indigenous people in Warri Township and have rights to electoral wards through polling units. 28. On the part of Senator Danjuma, she has no connection whatsoever with Warri. Hence, her intervention in Warri affairs is totally unwarranted. Senator Danjuma is from Edo State, while her husband is from Taraba State. If there is any problem in Warri, she will not be affected in any form. You can see the implications of what these women are doing. One is purported to come from Ogboloposo. The other one is from Edo State. One is married to a Yoruba man. The other one is married to an Hausa. There's no relationship of these women with Warri and Delta State. It should be recalled that same Senator Danjuma frustrated the implementation of the Danjuma report on roadmap to peace set up by President Olusegun Obasanjo in 2002. We advise that the First Lady should be mother to all the people of Nigeria and all ethnic groups in Warri and not champion of the Shekiri agenda. Warri needs development and not oppression of the Ijaw people. In conclusion, we commend the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for being able to complete the delineation process despite series of litigations against the commission by a Shekiri ethnic nationality. Of course, they lost all. The last one was just last week at the Court of Appeal. We also commend the commission in Warri South local government for being fair to all the ethnic nationalities and stakeholders. However, the job people state that their areas should have been delineated into at least 5 homogeneous electoral wards. If the job people had 4 electoral wards as far back as 1955, it is only fair for the number to be increased decades after. We therefore call for the creation of more electoral wards and state constituency for Ijaws in Warri South local government area, and also urge the Independent National Electoral Commission to disregard frivolous protests against the delineation exercise in Warri South local government area. It is also important for us to state that the Shekiris are speaking from double tongue. They've also accepted the creation of the new state constituencies, at the same time objecting to the Ijaw wards. You cannot probate and reprobate. If they have accepted the constituencies, the wards and units are inside the constituencies. I don't know where they are coming from, where the arguments are coming from. At the same time, the Supreme Court clearly stated, and in our claims, it is stated that all the wards, existing wards before the Supreme Court judgment, all the wards and polling units are fictitious and frivolous. It is on the premise of that the Supreme Court gave that judgment, and INEC was directed to do that. And I think INEC has completed the assignment. We're also calling INEC not to deviate from what they have done. This press briefing is for the Ijaws of Ogbejo, people of Warri South LG. My name is Honorable Alawe Dembofa Owekodo. Thank you and God bless. Iso. Yeah. Yepa mi emene. Hi gwe. Egwe kemenia. Odo. Well, for the press, for your information, they are stating that there is no. The Shekiris are saying that there is no Iwin community or Iwin ward. We want to appeal to the press that after now, wish to crave your indulgence for you to go along with us to the Iwin community. It's a stone throw from Warri Township. It's just the demarcation Warri Township and the Iwin community, which forms the Iwin ward, is less than 50 meters. Less than 50 meters from the Ogbejo market. And they are saying there's no Iwin community. So the press, we want to appeal to you, crave your indulgence to accompany us to the Iwin community so that the world will see what we are saying. We're not making frivolous claims. These are facts. These are areas our founder Iwin founded. Time beyond human memory. Thank you and God bless.
Where are we going to see?
We are now going to Iwin.
Iwin, eh?
Yes. If you look now at that time, and if you look behind, this way is the Ogbejo market.
You're taking me now. Come and stay here. I don't want it to be in my shop. I know what you are doing now.
Don't worry now.
Okay.
This, if you look, this other left-hand side,
Listen, come this side.
Okay, let me go this side.
you will see the Ogbejo market. This was where our people were cashing.
Let's start from the beginning, sir, so that you will not repeat. Okay, just tell us where we are going and what is the point
We are going to Iwin. Iwin, which forms the Iwin community, Iwin ward. And behind you, if you look behind you, you will see the Ogbejo market. You will see the Ogbejo market, where our forefathers were living and catching fish, where the Shekiris and the Robo people were coming for exchange, barter traders at that time. Now, this is the Warri River, and this is the boundary. This Warri River is the demarcation between Warri Southwest and Warri South. On my right-hand side is Warri South, Warri Southwest. On my left-hand side is Warri South. That's the boundary. So this is a Wing community which forms part of the Wing ward. It's about less than 50 meters between the urban and this island, the Wing community. Less than 50 meters that separates the Warri urban and this island. If we had followed the other side, which we might go through and you will see it. This one, we also get through this area for you to see. No.
Let's go back.
No, it goes this way.
Continue. He's saying that if you had followed the land, that is what he's trying to do.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. So this covers the Wing communities, which form part of the Wing ward.
So all these places are the Wing community.
Yes.
And
And Odeshekiri is very far from here.
so about 5 kilometers.
Well, it's about 5 kilometers from Warri urban to Odeshekiri. And Odeshekiri is in Warri South. Why a place of 50 meters is not, they are saying that it's not in Warri South. You can see the gerrymandering by cutting us in piece into different areas. And this is what the case we are making. No, we cannot be separated. Keep our people together for political representation. And that is exactly what we are saying. So,
As you can see, this is a view of the
Enwe is the founder of Ogbujo. So I cannot even tell you when the Ogbujo people or when Enwe came to this area. The reports have said it. He said it's beyond human memory. He said it's beyond human memory that our forefathers, the founder of Enwe, we're not disputing where we came from. We migrated from Bayelsa, the present Bayelsa state. That's where he migrated from. So we know our route. But this is where he settled and gave birth to all of us.
And to
So
add
let
to-
the Shekiris tell us who founded Warri.